All right, this is a 2015 Dodge Durango Citadel. As you saw, it has the HEMI on it. Find this junk here. And we have a crank but no start issue. We went all over the internet trying to find the relay for the fuel pump, but the relay for the fuel pump is attached to a board under this right here, and this right here they call it the TIMP, I believe it is. It's basically a glorified fuse box, and under it there is a green electronic board, and to that board is where the fuel relay is soldered to. It's none of these right here, is soldered inside. So there's many issues, many fixes for it online, but none for a 2015. So what did we do? We put power down the fuse. That didn't work. We looked for the jumper cable, but we made our own jumper cable from there to fuse this one right here with that we put the white dot on it, and I believe it's number 70. And right there, 70 is the fuel. 70 right here. 70, my finger, right there. Fuel pump motor. Long story short, we weren't getting no gas there. Fuse is good. Relay apparently is good. But the pump wasn't activating. So we decided to take the fuel pump out. To take the fuel pump out, you have to take the fuel tank out. And the fuel pump is on the driver's side of the fuel tank. Now, what do you have to do to remove the fuel tank? Well, you have to remove the exhaust. Now that the exhaust is out, let's go ahead and go step by step on how to take it out. Well, you take 4 nuts with springs out of these 2 flanges. Then you take this 2 and 2 bolts out of these 2 brackets, and you undo the hangers. 1 here, 1 there, and 1 on each side of the mufflers, okay? For some reason it has a ground cable attached to it. Now, to take the hangers from the mufflers, and when I say mufflers, I'll refer to right here. We had to undo some trim and undo the side of the bumper. And the hanger was right there. It's that one right there. And of course the V8, so you have 2, 1 on each side. Okay, so in order to remove the exhaust, well, no, never mind. You remove the exhaust. After you remove the exhaust, you have to remove the drive shaft. The drive shaft has, you can count how many holes it has there. I think it's 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. 8mm Allen bolts. And then in the center, you have the support bearing. You remove that. So 8 bolts in the back, 8mm. Those in the center. Now, better background. Have a green screen now. All right, 8mm, there you go. And you take the front 6 off, which are the same size. And this thing should drop off. You also have to remove a few other things, like this cover This covers a few fuel lines and brake lines that run in front of, on the front left side of the car, in front of the fuel tank. Remove this heat shield that goes over the support bearing, like that. And remove the heat shield for the drive shaft. Then, these are the spring nuts that I was talking about for the exhaust. These bolts are for the support carrier. The support bearing for the drive shaft is these bolts. And here's the drive shaft rear bolts. They look like this. And they are, 1 second. We're back. They're 8mm right there. Okay. Now, to remove the fuel tank, it's really not that difficult. You remove the filler tube. And if you have some gas on it, don't worry about it. So that filler tube goes right there. And the reason I say don't worry about it is because in here there's a, you can probably hear it. Stick something in there so you can hear it. There's a flap. I think they call it the anti-siphon flap. That prevents somebody from sticking a hose into your fuel tank and, you know, stealing your fuel. Then you'll remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 bolts. And that's all that's holding the fuel tank. Then you have to undo the fuel line that goes to the engine, which is this front one here. Then you undo one wire, or one cannon plug, one plug, which is this one. And this one is attached to the support right above the differential. That one right there. Then undo one line and 2 lines, and your fuel tank's free. Stick a dive under the car, truck, SUV. So, transmission, 6 bolts for the drive shaft. Here's the 2 for the exhaust flanges. These 2 are for the support for the drive shaft. And on those same bolts go, you put the heat shield. Then I'll turn around. This is the differential with the 8 bolts around it. The fuel lines 1 and 2. Of course, you have to do it from the back because the fuel tank sits right here. So from the back, on top of this support somewhere, you can find the holes for the plug that plugs into here. And this is the fuel line that goes to the front, right here. And then you have to undo the 6 bolts. One by the lift point, 2 by the diff support, 3 on the other side, 4 right there by the other lifting point. 4, 5, and 6, which are here and here. These two. The fuel tank is not really a difficult job, but it's a little time consuming. The bolts for the drive shafts are not super tight, but the Loctite they have on it makes it a little bit difficult to get out. So if you have power tools, I recommend you use, 20 volt to walt or whatever electric ratchet you have to take them out. And this one, and this one. Let's get a little more perspective here. This one, and the front two, they are for the larger heat shield. The fuel lines are not very difficult to remove, but given the location of it, sometimes they could be a little pain. Okay, so you remove the red. Should have brought my tripod. Remove the red and push here, and the fuel line comes out. Sometimes you have to jiggle it, like push it in, then push in, and then push out, but they do come out. The worst fuel line to get out was this one, but it was due to the location. Like it's tight, it's accessible, but it's right there with the diff on the body of it. So this fuel line was the most difficult one. Then we come to the fuel pump. Yep, it's a mangled mess right now because hey, we weren't gonna let something like this stop our car, but it did. It stopped our car. This right here, I'm gonna leave you the video right now so you can see how it runs and it doesn't run. So check this out. No está tocando el cable. Y se está trancando. Déjalo ahí, a ver qué. So this is the infamous fuel pump. We have it taken apart because we weren't going to give up always. And the only thing that goes bad in these things is the pump motor. It has a small little impeller in there. I'll take a picture of it and slap it on the video so you can see it. 2 connectors, positive and negative, and that's all. So you saw how it was working on the last video, on the last segment. So strainer for it goes in like that. This goes from the bottom up on the black part, and then this black part goes inside this white part, and then this whole assembly right here goes in here. ¿Se fue? No. Sí, se fue. Dale un poquito más. No sé si esto esté pillando o qué. No, eso está bien.
A ver si la puedo empujar para abajo con el penetrante por este lado. Ahí.
This white part slides on these two springs in there, like so. But when you're removing it, this thing came off from its place. It came off, so we had to, take that out. Now, I had this because it's been here overnight, so I didn't want any critters to get in there. So it's basically how you remove your fuel pump. Now, that line in there, it disconnects just like any other of the fuel lines. But that line, it was bringing the fuel from the right side of the tank to the left side of the tank. And I am assuming that this pump actually sucks fuel evenly from both sides. So that's beyond my knowledge and beyond what I want to, get you through in this video. So bottom line, not a hard job. Remove a few large screws. Make sure that you have the vehicle lifted high enough. That was plenty. If you have a lift, then, way more comfortable. And the fuel tank, believe it or not, we brought this fuel tank down with almost 3/4 of a tank. We used a 2x4 across both sides, and we used a regular floor jack to lower it down once all the fuel lines were disconnected. So that's about it for this video. Just make sure to leave your comments or questions. Please be kind. And I know there's always 1,000 ways to, do things. And I'm sure you have a better way to do it. This is just the way we had to do it with the resources and tools that we have on hand. And, not spending $600 for a fuel pump brand new from Dodge and who knows how many man hours and at what rate. So I hope you liked the video. See you on the next one.